first and foremost, I want to thank you for joining us here, Metaverse HQ, to talk a little bit more about Ninetales, the card game. First question I always like to ask is give us a little bit more about kind of your involvement with the team. Looks like you're the founder, but go into that a little more, as well as tell us a little bit of an overview of what project you guys here are working on.
Yeah, sure. So myself, I am the founder. I would say I'm the main founder. Like, was the person who came with the idea, tried to gather the team in the beginning and everything. I am involved mostly in terms of like building the project with creating the tokenomics and helping with the game design, like the game mechanics and everything. Obviously, like as we have some milestones such as our mint and everything, I also talk with partners and try to set up our partnerships and manage teams and everything. But my main, I would say, contribution to the game is in the game design side and the tokenomics side.
Awesome. That's great. Now, can you tell us a little bit about kind of what you've been developing here and what Ninetales will hopefully be and is?
Yes. So the main idea with Ninetales is to create a card game that is engaging, fun, that anyone can play, so really open, and that uses NFTs as a way to enhance the experience of the players, really to make the game feel more alive rather than do what is done actually right now in the space where games are built around the NFT. So basically, you already have your NFT, you already have your DeFi protocol, and you just try to gamify it a bit. We are taking the other like point of view where our main goal is to build the game, and NFTs are something that enhances the experience of the player rather than um, like trying to make NFTs the cornerstone of everything. So this is our main philosophy, and we believe that this is important because games are meant to be fun, they are meant to be engaging, they are meant to be a good time for the people. So by having really our focusing on the game, we are trying to achieve that. But at the same time, we believe that NFTs can enhance the experience of the players, allow them to do things that they wouldn't be able to do otherwise. And so this is why we are having these NFTs in our game. And also, from my personal point of view, something that I'm really keen on is making the play to earn or play and earn idea work. Right now, there is no system where the play and earn is working. All games that try to do this have failed, and a lot of them that are already also trying to do it right now are failing. So to me, the most important thing is making a game where we can have a play and earn aspect, and some people will be able to earn money and some will be even able to earn a lot of money, but the game will still be sustainable and will still be living 10 years from now and thriving.
Awesome. No, that's a noble cause, and that's something that I think a lot of people have noticed. That again, it's the game. Like the game does not come first; it's the game later. Let's build this, and then we'll build a game out eventually.
Yeah.
Kind of concept, kind of almost to fund it. So no, I love that idea, and I love the concept of you know uh, trying something new and authentic. My question to you is a lot of these games are trying different kinds of mechanics in terms of okay, you have to own this to be able to connect your wallet to our game and to be able to play it, and it has to have like this NFT or this NFT in it. And some are not doing that. Some are saying, okay, this NFT enhances your abilities in the game. What kind of style does the NFT that you guys are launching have in terms of how the game mechanic works? Can anyone play it, or is it has to be someone who holds one of these NFTs?
So when the open beta version of the game comes out and then the final version, anyone will be able to play the game, and even people who don't know anything about NFTs or blockchain. Our NFTs work basically as a booster, but not for the power inside the game. They don't make you stronger. They basically unlock the potential earnings in the game. By holding the NFTs, you have the ability to actually earn a lot of tokens, a lot of assets inside the game, and to make it a play and earn ecosystem. People who are not holding the NFTs will be able to play the game, to have fun, to compete and everything, but they will be earning a lot less tokens. And so for them, it will be more about the fun side of the game and the fun experience rather than the earning.
Well, okay, that's awesome. Okay, I understand that, and that's great. Again, I love the accessibility. It's a kind of a big thing that I get a lot of questions on in some of these spaces. Creating this game that's inaccessible to people who don't have the money to purchase that NFT. That sometimes the floor rises above 2, 3, 4, 5 ETH sometimes.
Yes.
So I love that aspect of the project. Um, so obviously you get the NFT collection coming soon. Can you explain to us a little bit about what the game mechanics are going to be? So what kind of game is this, and a little bit more about what we can look forward to when we're playing the game.
Sure. So for the game mechanics, the main idea is that it is a card game, so it has the base, I would say, mechanics of a lot of other card games, such as Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone, or some other card games. But on the other hand, it is a original card game. So although it has those base mechanics, then the rules of our game, the specificities of the cards, the win conditions, everything is different. It's new. So someone who like plays a lot of Magic the Gathering, for instance, will understand our game more easily, but he won't just be stomping everyone because it is not just a copy of Magic the Gathering. He will still need to learn our rules to get into our game, to learn our system. So it is at the same time respectful of the genre of card games, but on the other hand, it is a new card game, not just a copy of something that exists.
Understood. Okay, and just to make sure I understand, the cards themselves in this card game aren't the NFT, correct? They're not necessarily something that you own. Is that correct, or am I wrong in that?
No, I think it is a bit wrong because the idea is that the cards will also be NFTs. They are not the NFTs that we are selling now. The cards will be NFTs that we will sell, but their price will be very much reasonable. And we will have mechanisms to basically try and always keep the lowest rarity cards very affordable so that we never have these very high entry points for people who want to get into the game. On the other hand, the NFTs that we are selling now, these will have just a limited supply, and this, as I said, will be your key to unlock the earning potential in the game.
Understood. Okay, no, I love that because I mean, in every card game, real or on chain, as we've seen, there are definitely some deflationary things that come into play, or some issues with inflation of card prints and things like that. So I love that you guys have an eye on that mechanic as well.
Mm.
Um, so tell us a little bit about kind of, I guess, the roadmap here. Obviously we were starting with this NFT collection that allows you access and some benefits for the card game later. When is the card game itself coming?
Yeah, so first of all, what I would like to say is that we are not like a new project, so to speak. Like we didn't just come out of the blue 2 weeks ago. We have been building this for many months. We sold our Genesis collection in December. And since even before selling the Genesis collection, we have already started working on the game itself. So basically, the development of the game has been going for the better part of 5 months right now. And we have our roadmap in which like our goal for this year is by the end of the year have an open beta version that anyone can play and that has like a blockchain integration and everything. This is our biggest milestone for the end of the year, but before that we have a lot of other milestones coming. The closest one in terms of development is the alpha version of the game. The alpha version of the game is kind of this first version that will be only playable by our NFT holders, and they will be giving us feedback around this version of the game, what they like, what they don't like about it, and they will be able to earn real money and whitelist spots and NFTs by playing the game and by giving us feedback. So this is our way of involving our NFT holders right off the bat, even before the open beta comes out, by involving them in building the game and by making them an active part in our building process of the game and by rewarding them for being part of our of the building and the creation of this game. So our goal is to have the alpha version around 2 to 2.5 months from now, basically. And once this alpha version comes out, people will be playing the game and giving us feedback, and we will be iterating on this and working on it until our open beta version comes out. And the open beta version will come out by the end of the year. And then when the open beta come out, the people who have been holding our NFTs and earning some money through the alpha version will then be able to earn a lot more in the open beta, because there will be a lot of people playing. And then, as I said, the people who are holding the NFTs are those who will be able to earn the most in the game. The NFTs will work as multipliers of all your earnings inside the game. And so you are looking at multipliers of a factor 10 or a factor 5 at least for each NFT that you are holding while playing the game.
Okay, wow, that's cool. And my apologies for not realizing that you guys have been around for quite a while. That's my fault. But my question of follow up there is, obviously a lot of people have tried, or some people have tried to do the whole app store thing first. To kind of do the integration thing. Did you guys run into any hiccups or anything like that with the idea of NFT integration in an iPhone app, or is that part of the closed beta at all?
So basically, in the closed alpha version, it will be on PC. It will be a PC version that will be able to play on PC and Mac. So no mobile version. But then once the open beta comes out, then we will start working on transitioning to a mobile version. The thing is, in terms of development side, purely development, we are building on Unity, and on Unity, what you are building is actually already compatible with mobile. Then it is just a matter of actually making a nice designs and nice UI, so that what you have built for PC is also enjoyable in mobile. But with regards to like the integration, we know that like all the major platform, like the App Store, the Google, so the Google Play, the Steams of the world, they are all against NFTs. So it is really hard to get your game published in those. But we also do believe that we will get traction even without that. And when the time comes out, and I think that the time will come very soon, when there will be a paradigm shift and people will, in the Web2 world, will start accepting NFTs more and more, then we will be ready to jump into all those platforms and list our game.
Yeah, for sure. No, I love that, and I love that for you to outline kind of how that looked like from the early stages as well. My next question kind of goes back to the team here and everyone involved. What experiences do you guys have that is going to help make this project a success in terms of game development and game design? I know you mentioned that you've been working heavily on the game design part of it. Can you speak a little bit to your all's experience and how that's going to help you guys carry out a successful project here?
Yeah. So I would say personally, I am like the more science-based guy in the team. I have a PhD in math. I work as a researcher in a laboratory in Switzerland on decentralized algorithms. And I also used to do content creation around new technologies. And this is basically what led me to doing a lot of content creation around play to earn and play and earn. I was heavily involved with Axie Infinity, actually, even at some point was an ambassador for them. And it's really the tokenomics were the frustrating part. Like you had this nice concept, you had the possibility of creating something new, but it was misused, and it is still misused in the sense that the tokenomics heavily incentivize a Ponzi scheme-like behavior where everyone is trying to cash out, and it is a race to the bottom where the last people who come will pay the price for everyone else. And so this was so frustrating for me. And I was, with my experience in math, my background, I was really focused on trying to shift a bit the tokenomics and shift a bit the philosophy of the game so that we can have an earning part inside the game, but it will be much more sustainable. And actually the people who are earning in the game will be earning for a long time and will be earning much more. This was my experience and the thing that I focused on. Of course, I also love card games, played a lot of poker, played a lot of Magic the Gathering, so I was helping with the game design. But I have one of my co-founders is a professional poker player. plays a lot of Magic, and we also hired the third person who is a professional Magic player to basically iron out all the game design. So this is for the game design part. With regards to the art, one of my other co-founder is a artist working at Riot Games with more than 8 years of experience in the gaming industry, and he is our lead artist. So he has a very nice, I would say, artistic vibe when it relates to games. And then the fourth co-founder is a blockchain engineer who has been in the space for a long time, has a lot of experience in blockchain development and also back-end development. So overall, I think the way I thought about it was really, I wanted to create this game. I know that I wanted it to be a card game for multiple reasons. I know that I wanted to create something that will fix the broken tokenomics and that will have a very nice competitive scene. And then I just tried to gather the best people around me to do that. So started with these co-founders who are very interested by the project, who have very complementary experiences. And then we started hiring people. We got VCs on board. We got great advisors on board. Project Gojira is one of them. Our VC, Aglaé, he is one very renowned VC in France. They have invested in some great projects very early on, such as Spotify, Slack, and some other projects. We also have just like the backing of Microsoft for Studios, which is kind of an accelerator for early startups, tech startups. We have also Polygon Studios, who is helping us because we are building the game on Polygon. And we have Project Gojira as our Web3 advisor. So overall, just great people with us. And now we are at a team of more than 20 people working full time, and we are still hiring every day.
Wow, that's a star-studded cast. I mean, just the name drops alone, man. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear you guys. So, one thing that really stood out to me was in the wording and some of the things on the website about the game is the anti-pay-to-win reward system, and I love that because it tells me, oh, these guys they've played video games before because everyone in the gaming industry hates pay to win. Can you tell us a little bit more about how that doesn't necessarily conflict with the understanding of play to earn with NFTs?
Yes, so this is a very, I think it's an interesting question. Not only is it an interesting question, but it is also a very clever question because there is a kind of two conflicting concepts, which are you want to have a play to earn part of your game, but you also don't want the people who are paying to be stronger because you don't want to have pay to win in your game. So the way we are trying to solve this is basically by having our NFT collection and by having the cards have some different levels, so you can level them up by basically mixing different versions of the card, you can level it up. But all of this, whether be it the NFTs or the level up of the cards, so anything you buy in game, nothing makes you stronger. Nothing will make you win more games. You will not be better than the others by buying your way through the ranks. What everything will do is that it will allow you to earn more from the game. So we are tying the investment in the game, the NFT investment in the game, with the earning potential, and we are coupling it from the power level inside the game. And by doing that, we want to ensure that it is the same gaming experience for everyone. Whether you paid $1,000 for your deck or $50, you will have the same level, you will have the same chances as at winning, but then the difference is in whether you will earn a lot from this game or whether you are just playing for fun and having a good time playing it.
I love that. Thank you for going in a little bit more detail on how that works. Well, another thing that I always really appreciate, especially in card games, is I feel like some do it well, some don't do it well, but it's kind of the lore and the story building behind the universe that you're playing the game in, or you're playing the game, or that rather the game is encompassing of. Can you tell us a little bit more about who's working with you there in the kind of the lore behind the world of Ninetales?
Oh yeah, that's a very interesting question. I think so for the lore, it came. I would say a lot of it came from me, but we are now also having our lead artist who is helping with the lore and everything. And we want to, in the near future, have a professional writer who will write stories around the law, because we have some great stories in our heads, but obviously we are not writers. So the idea behind the law is to have a blank sheet where a lot of things can happen, because we are thinking of this game as something that will expand through time. We are thinking of it as the next Magic the Gathering or the next big world. So we don't want to just have one story. We want to tell multiple stories, to tell multiple myths, to have multiple wars happening and everything. So the base thing is that, yeah, there is this world. It is a fantasy world. So basically, like Lord of the Rings style, Magic, Lord of the Ring, like Game of Thrones, in anime like Berserk, the anime, or something like that. And you have this world. It is a fantasy world. There are dragons, there are mythical creatures, but this world has 9 different races which are existing in it with their own kingdoms, their own stories, their own myths, their own religions, their own politics, their own wars, and their own struggles. And this is our just basic thing. And then from then, we want to keep building on that. Each one of the race has its heroes, it has its battles, it has its affinities with some of the other races, and it has some nemesis among the other races. And we want to basically, at each new expansion, create new cards and let these cards tell a new story or continue a story that already existed. So our very first expansion will be called Humans versus Orcs, and it will basically present these 2 races plus another race, and it will present them to the story of a war that happened between the humans and the orcs for some reason that I don't want to spoil too much.
I appreciate that. No, that's awesome. And again, goes back to telling me that you guys understand card games, and that you guys, because that's some of the things that I love about some of the better card games out in the real world. The expansions and like the opening of different kinds of storylines and things that are kind of in the background, but are really important to kind of give you that vibe, and that's great.
Mm.
One thing that we've talked about and we've mentioned, you guys obviously had an NFT drop, the Nine Tails Genesis drop, that gives holders benefits and things like that. And I see here that there's a blog post, going over like the 11 benefits of holding
Yes.
the Nine Tails NFT. By the way, for those of you listening, the floor is sitting at 0.79 right now. That is really, really awesome,
Thank you.
of a floor for you guys to be holding. So congratulations.
Thanks.
About 103 ETH in volume too. So that is really awesome. But can you kind of maybe, for those out there who aren't familiar with some of these benefits, maybe go into a few more that we haven't talked about?
Yes. So I will say I think there are 2 types of benefits. There are what I call secondary benefits, and these are like your benefits that you would find in any NFT project. So for our secondary benefits, what we are doing right now is, because we have grown, so we are now kind of a project that can get a lot of whitelist spots for our holders, get some exposure for some smaller projects and everything. So we basically try to do that because also the Genesis collection is so small, we are able to basically almost always whitelist at least 20% of our holders, and for smaller projects, whitelist everyone. So we have, like, for example, a room where people can get in, our holders get in, they ask us for a project that they like, and upcoming projects, and it's cool because it's, in general, it's like upcoming projects that don't have a lot of eyes on them but have a lot of potential, and we are also kind of helping them get this exposure that they need, and also bring in their whitelist to our holders. We have also a private Telegram group, which is held by one of our ambassadors. It has some whales in it, and it is also made for like more technical discussions on investment. So for instance, we discussed things like invest in some very early on projects that are not well known, and we do also more of like the technical discussions, educational posts, and everything. This is for like I would say, secondary utility. So like these whitelists, so we got like, I don't all the big projects right now, like Mind Blow, Karafuru, BF Party, Zoovers, or Flipper, all these projects that are hyped, we got whitelist for them, and also some very smaller ones. And then there is the primary utility. The primary utility is the things that are related to the game, what you will get from the actual game that we are building. The primary utility, there is the fact that we will basically, by holding the NFT, we don't want the people who are holding our NFTs to have to go and buy the cards, buy our crypto token, and buy different stuff on top of also buying the NFT. So we will be airdropping card packs to our holders. We will be airdropping them some of our token. And the idea is that this will allow them to get into the game directly just by holding the NFT. They will not need to buy more stuff. For example, we have like some quick estimations. Our token we will be airdropping around between 2 and 2.5% of the supply to our Genesis holders. And this means that if we are at a 20 million market cap, and the 20 million market cap is extremely like small compared to other games, or in general, they are more around 100 million. But even if we are at 20 million market cap, this would be the equivalent of $1,000 of airdrops for each Genesis NFT holder. If the game becomes much larger, and our token gets more value, for example, say something more reasonable like 100 million, then this would be equivalent of $5,000 of airdrops just from the token airdrop. And so these are like more things related to the game, but then there is the main utility inside the game. Once the game comes out, basically holding the NFT will be the difference between you earning a lot of tokens and a lot of assets and you really playing for fun. And so the people who are holding our NFTs will be the primary beneficiary of the game growing. The more people there are in the game, they will always be earning the most, those people who are holding NFTs. So we are estimating something like, by holding an NFT, we will be getting around 10 times at least, by holding a Genesis NFT, at least 10 times more than someone who is not holding an NFT. And by holding a phase 1 NFT, so our upcoming collection, you will be looking at least 4 to 5 times more earnings than someone who is not holding the Genesis the NFTs. So basically, the idea is that suppose you play the game, you are earning tokens, and maybe you are earning something like you are playing quite well. You are earning something like, I don't know, $5 a day or something like that, just because you bought some cards, you play the game, and you get some crypto. Then, if you are holding our Genesis NFT or Phase 1 NFT, this $5 it directly becomes $50 or $100 a day. And so there is really a big difference between earning real money from the game, something that you can actually just make a living out of it, and just earning a few bucks that maybe can help you from here and there.
Awesome. No, that was a great
Thanks.
explanation, and I appreciate that.
Very long one, sorry.
No, not at all. Trust me, everyone's here to hear you talk, not me. I guarantee you that. My next question is, again, mentioning that I've played a lot of card games and stuff, and knowing that you have as well. I know that when I'm playing a card game, I make a deck, right? I build a deck and then I fight someone with a deck. But if I'm committed to this particular alignment or this particular elemental, whatever, there's nothing I can really do other than try to survive if I'm playing against someone who I'm ill aligned against, right? Is there a strategy factor in game as well as a deck building element to this as well, or is that something that you guys have in mind?
Yeah, obviously. Our idea is that we have 9 races, and as I said, we want the lore of the game to serve the game. So each race will have different mechanics and different cards. And our idea is that when you will build your deck, there will be a constraint. You can only have 2 different races in your deck. So we'll have to choose what kind of mechanics you want to mix, maybe what kind of races are complementary or help each other with the type of gameplay, and then you build your deck based on that. And of course, there will be races that counter other races. So maybe sometimes you just fall against someone who just happens to have the exact deck that counters you. But the idea is that this is a card game and a strategy game. So if you build a good deck, a solid deck, you will be able to claim the ranks because you will be winning more times than you lose.
Understood. Okay, great. Thank you for that. My next question, and then I'll try to wrap up my questions here, and then we'll get to have you kind of talk a little bit more on your own, as well as ask questions to the audience, or answer questions for the audience. But um, right now, in terms of some of these games that are out, and obviously to varying effects, mostly none of them have done anything super crazy. There are some that are really revolutionizing the way these games are played, I will say. But you're right, like nothing's catched on to been like some major success for a long period of time. What kind of technology are you guys leveraging? Are you guys leveraging a layer two? Um, to work on this. I'm curious to hear that, but also what kind of documentation from day one will people have to be able to kind of reflect back on it and kind of understand the game a little bit more?
I think that in terms of technology, this was like a huge question for us. And I will again make a long answer, but I think it is important and it is interesting, just even outside the scope of Ninetales. So our thinking was this: like, we are betting on Web3 and on NFTs to actually be helpful and be used in real life, and this is why we are building this game and pouring our souls, hearts, and time into it. And so if we are going to bet on NFTs, we have to bet on a blockchain. We have to make the bet: what is the blockchain that will survive and that will thrive in the future? And so our thinking was that if I am going to bet on a blockchain, I will be betting on the one that I see be the most successful right now, and that I feel like the fundamentals of it can actually make it succeed in the future. And this is why our bet was on Ethereum. Now, okay, we bet on Ethereum, but like, it is unreasonable and just not feasible to have a game on Ethereum right now, just because of the high gas fees. Then, given that, we were thinking, like, what are we going to choose that leaves us the possibility to switch back to Ethereum in the near future, but still make the game right now? And so when doing this, basically what we were asking is, what are the blockchains or technologies that are EVM compatible? This is just a technical term to mean that they are basically using Solidity and the same structure of smart contracts as Ethereum, because we wanted to have code in a blockchain, and then if at some point in time in the future Ethereum becomes again the best blockchain and the fees go really low, be able to switch back to Ethereum very fast. And so after doing a lot of research, it was very clear to us that there were really only two choices: either a layer 2 solution or something like Polygon. And we ended up going for Polygon for some reasons. First of all, because they kindly accepted to help us and put us in their accelerator, Polygon Studios. And secondly, because there were some other problems with a layer 2 solution, and mainly that you will be always relying on some third party to build everything you need to do, so you will have less control over it. So overall, this is all to say that after weeks and weeks of thinking and pages of internal documentation and of research, we decided to go with Polygon Studios for the game. And so for now, we are partners with Polygon Studios, and our game will be playable. The interactions inside our game will be on the Polygon proof of stake blockchain.
Excellent. Awesome. Thank you for that explanation. And that makes sense. Obviously, I saw that you guys were funded, or you helped get fund through Polygon, so that kind of just makes it more obvious to me. So I appreciate that explanation.
Thanks.
That, I think that's all the questions that I have. What I always like to do is I always like to open the floor up to you to kind of maybe leave us with some lasting thoughts, or maybe something that we didn't touch on that you really wanted to drive home about the project, and then we'll open it up for some questions if anyone has one. If you do have one, go ahead and raise your hand through Twitter Space. Please, if you are associated with a project or you're looking for a collaboration, please go through the appropriate channels. Do not use this as a springboard to shill or to try to connect with the project. Do that on the back end. But yeah, I'll go ahead and leave you with some lasting thoughts.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, first of all, for having me. I mean, as you said, always open to having any questions either now or if you come and drop by the Discord, we will be very happy to answer your questions. I encourage people to read through our documentation. It is a very thorough one. It will help you also see our vision and what we plan on doing. And if you want to get involved, I mean, obviously there is our Genesis collection, which gives the most utility. And then there is the possibility to get involved through the phase one mint. With regards to, I mean, some long lasting thoughts, this is what I would say. Like, I think that the market is maturing, the NFT space is maturing. It is not just about pure hype anymore. And a lot of very hyped projects, they sell out, but very quickly they get flipped and their floor price goes to zero, and then there is no work in them. We are not like that. We have been working for months. We plan on actually keeping the work, whatever happens during our sale. We do believe that we have a large enough community and large enough support that our sale will be successful. But it is really important to see that as a project, what we want to do is bring value on the long term and continuously to our holders. And this is why I really encourage anyone to, if you have any questions, any doubts, any things that you want to have cleared out, just come to us and ask us directly. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that clarification. Doesn't look like we have anyone with any questions, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. But we really, really appreciate you guys coming on and talking about Ninetales a little bit, and we look forward to a partnership, and we look forward to seeing this mint coming up soon, and we look forward to playing the game. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Congrats on having like one of the great projects in the space. Really happy with the partnership with you guys. So yeah, thanks.
We love hearing that, and again, we're looking forward to that partnership as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you.